No, and I am fanatical about having reference lines, but I use, and unfortunately I couldn't do it with Wallflower, I use reference lines from the first time that actor records, so that I know if that is their reference, that voice is going to stay same from the early episodes. And I don't use like the episode before the one they're about to record. I go back to those first episodes.
Yeah.
Just, you know, would be an interesting test for, just in general, you guys would probably find this fascinating too, would be to take lines from the beginning of a show and the very end to see how you drift. Yeah, because you end up changing things about your character, and they're very, very subtle. So at any given time, you would never really notice it. But over the spread of an entire series, especially the longer the series, it would be interesting to see how you changed the character from where you started the character. And it would be nothing that anyone would, like the director wouldn't point to a line and go, oh, that doesn't sound anything like him. No. It was so subtle over the course of several episodes that you didn't even really notice the change.
Very good. In Cowboy Bebop, you definitely hear the difference between, say, like Jet, the beginning. To me, sounds very cartoonish, and then about 4th episode, he locks in. You can hear him lock in. At the beginning, he's like, "Ooh, he's funny," like that, right? And then all of a sudden, something happens, and he locks in. It makes me love that character. But I mean, that's a good example.
Yeah, that is a great example.
He was on 18.
I love that guy, dude. I love him.
Now the voice of the History Channel.
He does a lot of voices.
Oh, he did? Yeah.
He's not the voice of the History Channel.
He could be.
I got to hang with him at one time.
Yeah.
He was like,
He's a nice guy.
Very nice guy.
I thought he was a but you know.
Another question. Thank you, Brad. Another question. Wait. Hold on. Before this guy back here, because we kept.
I forgot.
See what y'all did. Another question.
But back there.
If you could say one thing to your characters, what would it be?
Chill out.
Think of something else to say.
don't you know you're a homosexual?
Kiss her again.
Yes.
Think you're so tickled at what he's come up with?
Oh.
No, actually, I was tickled at what Chris came up with.
Take a chill pill, and that pill is Prozac, girl.
You know what I love? It's a little aesthetic or idiosyncrasy of the show that I could never really figure out, and I never really wanted to bother Matt with the explanation because Matt.
He'd have had one.
He would have had one. Anyway,
He would have.
Yeah.
there are those moments where Sunako is strikingly hot.
Oh, yes.
So is she? Would it not want to be a part? You know, like is she supposed to be?
Oh no, there are
Go
moments.
ahead, Brett.
I asked that question.
So what is?
Well, he says what she is she's unusual.
Okay.
And
She's
because of that, the guys are kind of creeped out by that because they expect to be a certain way.
It's like if Grace Jones walked into the house.
Yes.
Only hotter and less masculine.
I'll tell you what. That's what.
That makes sense.
That's what the different people who come in. They would go. Oh, noise my type. Oh, so and so. You know, in female form. That now, give me a girl like Sanako any day.
Okay, so I'm going to do one little bit. It's going to sound really sweet, and I don't really mean it to be that way. But,
Of course not.
okay, my wife is very hot.
Yes. DK's an attractive.
The end. Now, the point that I'm trying to make is she grew up in Huntsville, Alabama, and in Huntsville, Alabama, it's very Teutonic there.
Yes.
Everyone, I swear to God, everyone looks exactly the same. The guys are all muscular, big football player types. The girls are all skinny, blondish, and that they're probably not blonde, but they are blonde, you know, brown eyebrows, and they're all skinny, all thin and skinny. Well, then there's my wife, who is more Dutch. She's got like the red blonde hair and she got the nice figure.
Yes.
Yes.
And the thing is all through growing up, she thought she was a freak because she looked different from everybody else. And so Sanako reminds me sometimes of my wife.
Yeah.
Because it's very much as like, she's beautiful, what's the problem? Like,
Yeah.
that was why I asked the question.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what's the problem here?
Yeah.
She's
You know, so in a way, I think you just got a very
Show.
long-winded answer to your question about what is Wallflower really about. I guess that's what it's really about.
Yeah.
It's not Brett's wife.
It's
Okay, have you ever heard that term before? This, I mean, even apart from the show,
Yeah.
the term wallflower
Right.
is used sometimes to refer to a girl who kind of keeps to herself, and she's kind of like she doesn't interact much with other people for whatever reason. So that's kind of why they named the show that, because Sanako is one of those girls that for whatever reason she doesn't interact with other people, and she doesn't feel like she fits in, and she kind of keeps to herself.
Yeah.
And
That's a great explanation. Actually, technically, the real origin, it comes from dances.
right, when
Yeah,
the girls
there's
were
all
standing
the
there.
girls
Yeah.
who didn't want to leave the wall,
Yeah.
leave the safety of the rail.
so they kind of blend in with the wall.
They
you
just,
know?
yeah.
It's like seeing like somebody that would normally be pegged as like a school nerd suddenly really hot and attractive, and they're very strikingly beautiful, but at the same time they have that stigma, and you're just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You know, it's just out of the normal.
Wandering Edie.
Now I've got to take this. Go ahead.
I think I would tell Takanagi he doesn't have to wear makeup to be attractive. Question? Somebody else? Yes.
Do you have any memorable ADHD moments from the show?
Any memorable ADHD moments?
That's just my life. One big memorable ADHD. You only remember the very short sentence. What? Ride bikes.
Like in the booth and you're like in a house and you're like elsewhere?
Yeah, I have a problem where they'll be recording and they'll play the line for me in Japanese so I can, watch it and kind of get a little feeling in the mouth. And then they'll play it again for me to actually speak, and I'm just kind of like sitting there. And I'm just watching it over and over again. And then I'll finally hear, oh, we didn't get